Good morning, everyone. I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I'm going to welcome you back to my channel on YouTube. It's Spirit to Spirit Teaches of Going Himself. My TikTok channel is 1974 in Life of Soul, and I'm also live on my Facebook. The other day, I spoke about spiritual awakening and some things that I have been experiencing going out and like working to heal my ancestral line. I know it goes way back. And today I'm into do spiritual awakening. So if you're new to my channel, I encourage people to go read my description on my YouTube channel, Spirit to Spirit Teachings of Going with Itself, because it gives a better understanding of what my channel is actually about. Because like sometimes I come off as a raging lunatic, a babbling idiot, as some people would say. I think it's crazy or what have you, but it's a part of the enlightenment. It's making the connection with spirit, the true essence of how to truly find God within yourself, to find spirit. And there's a lot of different backgrounds that struggle with understanding it, because there's a lot of indoctrinating into spiritual beliefs, whether no matter what religion or what belief you have, it's the part that it all comes back to the same thing. Only we're not understanding it in the way that it's being put out there, because there's so many different versions of it, because we're each on different timelines. And it's that part of like, what timeline are we on, and trying to figure it out. And a lot of people, like, there's more people waking up to it now and understanding it. I've been getting into, I watch Gaia sometimes. I'm kind of back and forth on different things, because I'm not the mystical side of everything. And I see the religion side of where things have come from, because it's that part of like control, okay? And with the mystical side, the magical side, which is always there, it's science, it's energy. It all comes back to the same thing, but a lot of us don't understand it, because it's not put out there right. Things have been manipulated, and stuff has been stolen and hid and what have you. And it's been a lot of fighting. So when you're experiencing things for yourself and what have you, it may be just something you're experiencing because it's trying to show you something from your ancestral line. And I've been actually learning that, and holy crap, talk about trippy. Like I know, someone just I know that an entity or what have you of a belief system just entered the room, and I can feel that, because it's that part of, like, you want to throw your hexes on me, you want to throw your attacks at me. That helps you. It's only because a lot of us, we don't want to look at the truth of our own ancestral line. And anytime we try looking, it's like we get a block, okay? Because there's those parts that doesn't want us to see that ugly side of it, because it doesn't matter. Both sides have an ugly side to it in different ways. I've been doing a lot of channeling, but a lot of things have been like coming in. And it brought me back to the story of Adam and Eve, right? And I'm not quoting Bible or anything like that. It's that part of making the connection and making sense of things, because there's different versions, and that's why to some of it don't make sense. It doesn't make sense, but I've been being shown both sides of the spectrum, both sides of the thing, because it started with like basically two families, okay? And some of us, like even, well, two families, but four ancestral lines, because it was a separation. Okay, so when I went back to Adam and Eve, I say like it's the atoms within our body, and then Eve is the electrical voltage that gives life. Okay, so when you look, it was Adam and Eve had, they said two sons, but there was a daughter there. Okay, it was they said it was Cain, Abel, and then there was, I believe it was Anne or Anna. Okay, this is just like people, if it doesn't resonate with you, move on. Or, just hear me out. And it may make a little sense to you. I speak my ancestors' languages, and it's many, because we are many versions of our ancestors. And you too can speak different languages. It's that part of the remembering, it's that part of going within yourself and looking at the ancestral line. And when you're led down one, don't forget to go both sides. Right? If you feel like something is wrong, go the other side, because it's that split. It's the change of a name. Okay, so on the third, I wrote down, because, like I said, I've been going different places, and I wrote down about Adam and Eve. There were two families, two timelines, four children, two on each side. Okay? And I was getting that there was a daughter and there was a son. Okay? This was the children of Cain and Abel, and Anne was the mother. So Mary. So if you um, look at there was said Joseph and Mary. Okay, different things have been. Joseph is John, so John and Mary. Okay, and then you have some people are saying Yeshua and Jesus. Okay, like there are different versions of it. Everybody refers to every religion or what have you, background, what have you, refers to it differently because of their ancestral line. But it all comes back to the one. I've been looking through my own ancestral line, and they're like, it was, one was married. Okay, they said Cain killed Abel. Okay, so Anna was supposed to be Abel's wife. Okay, and Abel got killed, and then it was said that Cain took his wife. So that would, like, it was the children. Okay, and like they say about was like who was really the twins. Okay. Oh shit. So Cain had a daughter and a son with Anna, and then Abel had a daughter and a son with Abel, and then there was a separation. Okay, the families went separate ways, and then it became feud. The Hatfields and the Coys. Okay, so that's kind of in each person's family, but we don't look at it that way. We don't see it that way because we don't understand that that's even a possibility. Because when I've been doing the looking through, I've been seeing where parts of my ancestral line and other people's names were changed. When you came, and if you didn't speak English language or the dialect, then there were persons that would say, okay, well, you change your name and I will give you my culture. So that's where things separated, and that's where the division came. Okay? So, yeah, so Joseph and Mary was John and Mary. Yeshua and Jesus were the son of Cain and Abel. And you've heard people, they were saying about, I've heard other, like different versions of it where they said that Jesus was the son of a goat, right? And then Yeshua was supposed to be the son of a shepherd or what have you. Yeah? You know, if you watch, okay, if you watch Once Upon a Time, I know I refer to this a lot, Once Upon a Time, okay? Watch that, right? You look at the part where, okay, you had Snow White and Prince Charming. Prince Charming was David, like King David. Now, what happened in this story is King David's mother and father had twins. Okay, King George and his wife couldn't have a son or children, possibly children, but couldn't have a son. So the dark one, Rumpelstiltskin, the deal maker, went to this family. I'm going by what is in the Once Upon a Time story because those are actually, whether you want to believe it or not, it's actually telling our stories. And we're just told that it's fiction. No police. So Rump will come and the kids, the two boys, the two babies were ill. And Rump will come with a deal. Okay. I'll give you the cure, but you have to give me one of your sons. So King George. King David, King James. Okay. So King James, the James boy, he was taken by King George. And then Midas, okay, they were trying to merge family because King George's kingdom was running out of funds. And then he had to fight, King James had to fight a big brute. Okay? But remember, there's two sides to it. So what happens on one side happens on the other. Just in different ways. You know, David Goliath, James and this other guy, this other one was a giant in a big way. The King James in the story, he was a lush. Okay? He in the story in Once Upon a Time, he was a lush and he was sleeping with multiple women and whatnot. He was a thief. Because he went in the story, he went and killed the giants to take their gold, to take their, you know, the magic means to get you from one portal, from one place to the other through a portal. Okay? And I even looked, and yes, and I was just told, just wait. So King James thought that the giant was dead, and the giant got up when he was praising himself, and everybody was praising him, and the giant stabbed him through the abdomen behind. Okay, so killed him. So then King George had to go get King David, and the way of getting King David to go was bribery. The mother would lose her farm; they would lose everything. Okay, they're crying. So that's the part where they come in. And right now we're dealing with a lot of people lost the land. Their land was stolen. And it's probably because they didn't want to go by it. Ooh, actually, I guess ooh, it's hitting home. So, in order for King David to save his mother and his mother's farm, he went, but he fell in love with Snow White, and there was going to be an arranged marriage. But she didn't want to marry him either. This goes deep, you guys. We're supposed to be cool. Shit. Okay. Well, don't get in my coffee. Here. Yeah, right now it looks like a bad tasting right out to lunch, but that's the good diet the way I listen to the Messiah. So that is within both sides. Well, so when King David and Princess Midas, they didn't want to marry. So she told David, King David, that there was a lake that could heal everyone in Mana. And yeah, just the water, said the healing, the water, and he had to fight the siren, the love, the one that could disguise itself, and it would take its victims and drag them in the water and drown them. And now I understand when I went to the ocean last week, I was afraid to go in the water, backpaddling, because I was feeling like when I was going in, I felt like I was being pulled in the water. I was being pulled in the water. Oh, yeah. Deep breath. And then, because I had the ancestry line that I seen on my own. Wow. I see where it all is coming from with a roar and anger. Like everybody's like stealing from one and trying to steal it back, stealing from like the rich to give to the poor, but it was actually things were stolen. It didn't. And so that's why like people are looking for treasure. Like I go around on my trails. It's not because I'm looking for big treasure. Like to me, like when I found pieces of glass, it was like a little kid. Oh, treasure! So I was collecting glass. And then I was going and reading stuff, and I decided to read about Britain, like England, and because I went to the waterfront And no offense to the builders, excuse me, but people are saying that Halifax is one of the biggest corrupt parts of it where it's like taking children. Okay. And it's that part of like, okay, there's a Halifax in England and there's a Halifax in Nova Scotia. But Nova Scotia is said to be New Scotland. And there's been the wars going back and forth. And no offense to the like English or British or what have you, because I know I have ancestors from that line too. And I'm being shown this stuff. Yesterday, I was in a museum. Okay, people think that. Okay, I had somebody tell me that a place that was only built in the '60s was haunted, but there was nothing to happen. And I explained to them, okay, it's not necessarily that the house itself is haunted. Think of the property itself. What took place there? What is hidden from plain sight? Or what is in plain sight? Because I was in Halifax yesterday to the buskers, and holy shit, man. I like was walking around and woohoo! Okay. I went to the buskers before, but there was hardly anything there. And I went up to the one show that we went to look at because I know I was being guided there. Like I'll do the museum first. We went in the museum, and I'd walk up to certain spots in the museum, and then it'd be like, whoa! Like I would feel it, and I knew that it was like something like was within that. And like I said, I do this, and I move because it's the ancestral line. But I was walking through, and I was carrying my mug, my coffee mug, and all of a sudden I was like, "Where'd my mug go?" And then we looked around for it, and it wasn't there, or what have you. And then I was going around, and I was taking pictures, and I was getting that don't take pictures. Nobody physically was telling me. But I know that I was meant to be taking pictures, and it was something that didn't want me taking pictures. So I was taking pictures. And I'd taken a picture, and after I was taking a picture, I would put it back in my camera, my phone back in the purse. And all of a sudden, I was like going to take a picture, and my camera was in my hand. My phone wasn't in my hand. I was like, I'm left going like, what the fudge? So I went around looking to see if I set my phone down anywhere, and I went up to the person I was with, and I said, I can't find the phone. And they were getting frustrated, and I told them, like, no, don't get frustrated. And I was standing there, and I realized, okay, the tricksters. So it's like, I looked, and I looked in my bag, and my phone was in my bag, and I didn't put it there. I heard somebody say that you remember. Well, then it was one of those incidents where, you flip the timeline, you flip somewhere else, and that's the part that It's like when you're driving down a road and you miss you don't remember half the road, and somebody will say, well, you just weren't paying attention. No, that's not it at all. It's because people don't understand that that's what's happening. Okay, I'm not somebody just come in the room and they don't like what I'm saying. You know, that somebody tell me that somebody that they seen, it was there to them, it was like they had astral projected. And then the person told them, don't show your, like, you can't show yourself because people won't understand and they'll turn on you. The thing that I got from that, yeah, is that was what happened with Yeshua, but it was said, he was said to be Jesus, but he couldn't do with his family what he did. So was Yeshua killed? Because if they were twins, was Yeshua killed? And then another one brought in that couldn't do what Yeshua could do. I'm allowed to question these things. It's a system that don't want you questioning it. It's limited beliefs that don't want you questioning it because of that part of not understanding it. Like I've had people tell me that, like, that like I'm demonic and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm enlightened. I'm seeing both sides. I'm accepting both sides of myself because it is that part of they know not what they do say. But once you understand what you're experiencing, that's when you do know. And that's the part where you catch yourself. And when that happens, I laugh. Not at situation, but because it becomes so tricky. Seriously, the one that's like trying to send something out. Who paid you? Who's promising you something? Because I'll tell you right now, they might be promising you something, but you might get a piece of it, but that piece is going to be hauled right back. Dici que tot è, so when I come out of the museum, we walked up and what have you, and we walked around and watching, and things just didn't make sense to me. And we got up to this one vendor place where the guy was doing his act. Well, he went up and he grabbed the kid as a volunteer. Like he just went up and grabbed his hand. Come on. He had a leaf blower. He had turned on so people. And then this kid, the kid was about like I'd say about 8, 9 maybe. And the guy took the leaf blower, turned it on the kid, and blew it in his face. And the kid covered his face and tried to get away. And he kept kind of chasing him with the leaf blower. And he thought that was funny. The man thought that was funny. Seriously? That was assault. But nobody, I just looked and it was like, I don't find this amusing. And I walked away. And the other person that was with me, did I say anything? No, I didn't. I was just kind of stunned because like nobody laughed, but It was like everybody was paused. They were still moving. It was like they were blinded to seeing truth of what was really happening. Because it's that part right now, I feel it, and I don't care. Not about that, but somebody's trying to throw something to make me shut up when I was coming out of the museum. Then that's when things kind of flip. It's like, they say, "Oh, we just, the ones that are hurting people." So, and then when we left there, and we went to the other, like, the other side, the other part, the other side. We get off there and it's like a concert. We start walking, and like it was supposed to be buskers on both sides, but when I got back over on the other side, it was an African festival, and they were singing gospel music. And the person I wanted to go over, and the person I was with, well, they didn't, and I know why. Like, wow. So I made them, like I said, well, I'm going. So I went over, and back, and then a guy, he came over, and all of a sudden he started looking up in the trees. And he looked at us and he said, "Did you guys do that? Did you guys put that in the tree?" What in the tree? Because I didn't see anything when I came in to sit in that area. And they had these bottles and stuff hanging. I don't know. So like, oh shit. So and the food at the Kayaka, the food is that I can't show right now, but I will probably do a video, like just like a TikTok quick video thing, and put it of like kind of what my journey was seeing these things. It was really strange, and I was trying to figure it out. I don't know if it was like parts of the magic in different ways. But I've been watching a series on Gaia, and we have the Knights Templar, okay? Because like, see, what people don't realize is it doesn't matter. We're all connected with the Knights Templar or the Masons or what have you. We're all connected in one way or another to our ancestral line, okay? Because it's a part of hiding the true divinity, the true enlightenment, the knowledge that you don't need to have a middleman to get to spirit, to get to God, to get to the oneness, to get to the embodiment of your true divinity. Oh, really? They don't like this. And if you don't understand the language, trust me, there's parts of you that the ancestral line. So if you get aggravated with me, or you feel the crying, like the crying, or relating to what I'm bringing forward, that's why. Because you're connected to both versions. Because both sides, the mother and father, came together. It's like the the heaven and the earth. See, as I watch this series, I begin to understand things more when I watch Once Upon a Time. I begin to understand things. Like I've been going and looking, like if you do a satellite view of forts, like I told people the other day, last year that I went somewhere, there's a museum, and it was in like kind of the short part of it, and there was a painting there of one of the forts, and I went home and I looked it up, and holy crap, I damn near shit my pants. Even when I see the painting, it was like, holy shit, man. Symbols are everywhere. And we just didn't realize it. Some of us didn't realize it until, you're shown something. And then when you're shown something, it's that part of yeah, going in and seeing it. Like the star. The star I read, it has different significance depending on the way it's shaped. It's the eight-sided star. It has different significance. And one of the forts that I looked at from an area, from a satellite view from above, it was shaped like a star. And it was right in the middle. It was central, more or less the central point of the fort. Because when they put these forts, okay, is it to protect the people? Or is it to protect something else? And keep people from knowing the truth. He said, aquí no hay fuerte. ¿Verdad que esto fue un capaz y nada está ahí, hay un buen? Era que tu ya ellos no pudo ya y no se pudo ya. Todo. Like, if you are intuitive and you walk around in your bare feet, you're most likely to feel something under you, whether it be a good feeling or a very uneasy feeling. I was told today they had found out that a certain um, Indian culture, indigenous culture, what have you, they were cannibals. And they admitted, in this thing that he was showing me, they admitted that they would viciously eat people. And when I went over to one of the offices, and like I said, one of the places that I went into, I shared this in my spiritual awakening part one. I went up to this door and it lunged at me. And I understand now what that was. And that's when they get, it's the part of imprisonment. And it's like when people are driven crazy in certain ways too. Skinning, there's like a lot of torture and skinning. And that's what actually happened. And it was always like everything was always blamed on the indigenous community, which okay, with regret, with respect, with regards to that, okay. But it was also saying about the different parts, and a lot of it was happening within the British during the wars, and even before the wars, because the parts of And I know that I was burnt. I know that I was skinned. I actually have now I know what my picture is, and I understand the anger behind it. Okay? That represents the inside out, or the skinny. And it was all done by indoctrinating systems that didn't want people to know the truth of what really happened. And that's why right now, a lot of the time, a lot of things, history's being told, and people are tearing down monuments and stuff like that. To some, they felt like that person was the hero on your side, but it was the villain on the other side. So it's like, if you're going to put monuments, if you're going to put stuff up out there, why the fuck aren't you putting both sides of it? The good that the person did and the nasty that the person did. Because there was one monument that got torn down, Cornwallis, that got torn down. And one of my ancestors was scalped during the Cornwallis. And it was done in front of his wife, his year-and-a-half-year-old child, and she was pregnant. And they said that it was an indigenous and Indian person that did it. But through my family, that's not what it was at all. Might have been one that was paid by Cornwallis because he was giving money for bounty on Indian people, indigenous people, and anyone that got in the way. And then they took the families and they separated because they lied up there. And it put a wedge between the two families, between the families. And that's why you get feuds within your own family. It's because, those spirits, those souls, they've experienced it. Et que todo reaction, I said, oh my God, but see, people don't want to look. They only want to see the side that they were told because the rest of it was blinded because, sweep it under the rug, we'll keep sweeping it under the rug, and then nobody can find it, but then, it's too much under the rug, and it starts showing. But don't worry, it's the part of the truth, even if the truth is sitting right in front of you, you still don't want to. You want to turn that blind eye by not realizing that you are the truth. It's a myth, and the myth is my truth. Because the history is your truth. Because you are that part of your ancestor. And if you watch the series Once Upon a Time, and if I'm living in fantasy land, that's your opinion. But I know different. My eyes are open, and they're opening more and more. And if people don't like me for that, because they were led to believe one thing and they don't want to see the other, that's why you have rules. Because instead of sorting through the shit, we just keep pointing fingers at the other people. But we all had a hand in it. So la chiste de culturelle, che propone essere che culture sarà culture. when I got that channeling, and then I realized, and then I watched a video where it was saying about the four families. And I know that I am connected to those four families, and so are many of you, if not all of you, but you are either on one timeline or the other. And then I read one about, sorry, I read one about see, there are times when I experience it's like the voices in your head, right? And it's not psychotic because I just heard that it's not psychotic. You're led to believe it's psychotic, but it's a lack of understanding. You're hearing different versions of your ancestor son, like it's in the head. It's someone's shutting down. But where I hear mine is through the heart, through the abdomen, through the inner voice, the voice of the soul, the voice of the spirit, the ancestral line, because that's the connection. See, I watch different, like when I'm watching the Knights Templar or just different things that pertain to stuff like this. It's like that memory that clicks, like, holy shit, man. There was something that was said on one of the episodes, and I ended up crying because it's something that I've been saying for a long time. And it has to do with things. And I have it written. And I know it was telling me something different things. I don't care what someone's doing because I understand where they're coming from. Because it's what we've been told, it's what we've learned. If you're if you're a religious belief system or action, and you're in a organization where because one person or people in a family don't believe the same way, they have a different belief, and you kick them out of the family, you kick them out of the church, then that's not good. Who says it is? Because it's supposed to be the part and it's the acceptance of everyone and everything. The good, the bad, and the ugly, and looking at ourselves to see that. They said about like the Pope having a son, and then like different things about this and that. It was part of one rule to rule over the other when they were all supposed to be taking care of the land and the people. fighting come from a loss of losing yourself. That's how you lose God, because we lose ourselves. We look to somebody else opposed to us in here. You know, like the ones that want to keep you coming back and say, you got to give us your money. Give us your money. A real church doesn't ask. They just, I mean, it's, I don't give to something. If I see someone in need, I give directly to the person. And that way I know that they got it. Not a nonprofit organization, which in the end, the ones that organize it are actually profiting from it. Good. The saying churches, are they not profiting from it? You look at the monarchy. I believe everybody is princes and princesses. If you look at the monarchy, with all these castles everywhere, they're stealing people's property and calling and saying it's crown land, it's their land. You got to pay to live on their land. They're sitting with gold and diamonds and jewels. I have freaking crystals, $6 crystals, because I don't believe that I'm better than everybody else. I believe that everybody is royal, whether you're second royal bloodline or not. Everybody comes from the original royal bloodline, which was the beginning. Kings and queens and in these big palaces, all these fancy clothes and having all these fancy balls and stuff to raise money. Seriously, you've already taken all the money from the people, and you're still telling them, like, we need more because you're gonna pocket most of it because you got to pay for your fancy balls. Like, no wonder you're gonna have bodyguards. Not throwing shade, because I was reading an article where in 1974, King George, I don't know what the rate represents, fifth or whatever, and someone tried kidnapping Princess Anne. I read that. Now, like with regards to what's happening, I know it's from timeline to timeline. As when you're reading things and they say cross reference, if something don't make sense, well, it's not making sense for a reason. But like I said, I'm guided to search things, whether it's on one side or the other, because both sides are trying to tell truth, and it's suppressing one another because only one person wants their truth to be told. It's the untold stories. That's also in once upon a time the untold stories. And I know that they're trying to shut me down. They're trying to admin work, trying to shut me down from bringing stuff forward. So it's cutting things off. It's trying to cut things off or put me from one place to the other. And I know, like, okay, think of it this way, okay? If Mary Magdalene learned from Yeshua, okay? Anyone who thinks that time travel is not real, you've been so misguided, because time travel is real. And whether you want to realize it or not, we're all actually going through trauma. That's why things don't make sense. That's why, like, you're getting different fashions of, oh, well, this fashion's back and that fashion's back. To other thing that maybe you just like look into a different timeline, a different perspective of time. It's pretty trippy when you realize that. Like I said, we all do it. It's just that part of realizing that you're doing it and understanding what you're experiencing, because if you're doing it that when that's happening to you, it's because spirit is trying to show you something. That's the PTSD. You're experiencing your ancestors' PTSD. You're experiencing different things you see from the two from the from the two sides. So how are you perceive it? Because everything duplicates in certain ways. And I know that, like, I'm feeling it. It's like the ones wanting to keep the truth from coming forward, no matter what side it is. Because both sides have done heinous acts, whether it was to defend themselves or whether it was to try and feel like they're said with Cain and Abel that that God picked one or the one over the other, but God didn't, because it was supposed to be the protection of the men and the people together. And they blamed it, like they said that the mother, but they say that it was a cruel father. Which, if you look and you read different things of Gaius and Uranus, Gaia and Uranus, Uranus was said to be a cruel man, but it's also the both sides. Cruel man on one side, but a gentleman on the other. Almost like a separation split personality type, as they would call it. But it's a part of when somebody goes through so much pain, they go people can go dark because they're going through so much and they feel like they can't get out of shit. It just feels to them like it's a vicious circle. And I was reading, like when I was reading it, like about there was another part I was reading about in England, what they said about the slasher, the Halifax slasher. But then they said in there that it was people under mass hypnosis causing harm to themselves. So what's mass hypnosis? It has to be a spell, right? And when you look on Once Upon a Time, when they have the ice cream, because she wasn't accepted as a child, she became very extremely bitter. And then she put a spell, shattered vision. So they would cause harm to themselves and each other. And that would be probably, well, not probably, that is where you're getting this part of where people are causing bodily harm to themselves. I personally, I didn't cut myself, but I overdosed quite a few times. I overdosed about four or five times. So I know when I look back at the ancestral line that I was experiencing those versions of me, versions of my ancestors. That had the career track and help winning. Like people are cutting their wrists, people are punching themselves in the face. But it's that part of your inner demons. And we bring the inner demons out into the physical world because we're not dealing with them from within. So it's that part of feeling like we have to deal with them in the exterior. But it's in the quisiera que yo lo pudiera. So Mary Magdalene, she was very quick to understand because she asked those questions. And then when she started experiencing it for herself, because it opened her eyes, because that's the chakras all coming into the oneness, into mind, balance. That's the way, that's the spiritual way. So, I don't know, I took up to did a video saying things like a spiritual awakening or being hiring people. Fucking write this on me. And it's pretty freaking trippy. Does anybody know what it is? It's just come on the radio. So it's like a lot of weirdness is happening. Things that just don't make sense. He was talking about like if you took something or did something or whatever, it could be a long but so it's stuff like that. Realizing the different things, and then know I'm being strong because you can't tell something. And I'm beginning to realize more and more of it that you can't tell somebody something. It's not part of showing. Seeing is believing. But sometimes with some people, even if they see it, because of a stigmata of a society that says, no, you have a mental health issue, they hide it. They don't say anything. So it builds up in them. And you become sick. Your body becomes a disease. And I listen to people. And as I listen, sometimes it at first doesn't make sense until I actually realize it for myself. When I do this is a spirit to spirit. Like I'm going spirit to spirit. This is not directed towards one individual or anything like that. It's spirit to spirit. So if you're thinking that it's directed towards you, well, maybe it's a part of your part of a spirit that is connected to you or like your ancestral line. It's not per se you. So if you take offense to this, that's on you, not me. So stop throwing attacks at people because when they do that, get the whole way it's understanding the unknown. It's not throwing shade on someone else who is bringing this stuff forward. And that's the part of like, mental health is actually the lack of spiritual health, the lack of spiritual knowledge, true knowledge, not a psychosis where it's you have to believe this one way. You can't open to other stuff, which actually you're supposed to be because it is everything. It's been experienced. get the thread. Right now, I'm getting that spirit that must strengthen. And I was getting that yesterday when I was out, wanting to strangle me, wanting to rip my heart out, and, get out the way, right? Like I prepared myself in many ways. Well, actually, spirit prepared the ancestors. Our ancestors prepared us for this so that we could sort through the shit. Because I usually worry. I go out everywhere and talk like this, and move like this. I wouldn't go out with this in my head. Because why can't I go out with this on my head if other people are going out with different things? Because it's, just because we don't understand it, it's those parts of our spirit, our soul, that's realizing things and showing itself. It's not about changing everything, like if people saying about the schools putting kitty litter boxes into the schools or what have you, like whether that's true or if it's just like this, I don't know, because they have no kids in school. But all this stuff is to keep us fighting with one another, so we can't see the truth. And then, the person that's to blame, it's everyone is at fault. And it's taking that blame for yourself, things that you've done, instead of saying, oh, well, this person done this, and that person done that. It's part of it, it's healing the ancestry, healing your divinity. Because you are the beginning, you are the middle, and you are the end. You are the past, present, and future. You should always be on. I channel. And this is wisdom when you come to one, get the wisdom of one, get the wisdom of your ancestral line, those parts of you that's separate. Feel that. Spirit to spirit. My channel is not for everyone. Some people love me, some people hate me, some people like me, some people will me. Some people want to bitch slap me or punch me upside my head. Some people probably even wish that I wasn't even here. You know, you're only wishing that upon yourself because it's not part of everyone. I am you, you are me, we are the connection, the consciousness, the divine, the oneness. And some people, they know that, but they allowed their soul, their spirit, to be controlled by something else. We're all the truth. We just don't want our own past to be. We just don't want our line to be exposed to things. Because the universe is himself. Because each universe is, well, it's a version of your inner being. Or And the families don't do it because star-crossed lovers, Romeo and Juliet, two families in their life, the two people go together. So it's terrible part. And sometimes another and don't know it. Kills your life. It's gonna come better than anything. Because it's like the switch at birth type thing. Or somebody is taking another family in the adulthood. Or an age change. And I know a lot of people can relate to what I'm saying. And then there's some that are still just to do it. Or they're awake and something's being held over. Yes. Yes, it changes. Make you laugh, make you cry, make you off, make you angry. So I ever see people that look like you in certain ways? That's, you know, for a reason. Every time you want to be somewhere else, you separate your soul, your spirit, separate yourself, spirit, separate yourself from you. Diretto to Sharon Mion is quite convenient that certain records are stored somewhere, so all of a sudden there's a mountain fire or something happens to destroy the stuff. But I'm here to tell you, it only appears to be destroyed because nothing ever goes with it. We are the ones that didn't, because we don't allow ourselves to deal with it, to work through it, to heal from it. So we keep repeating it. And then when we look at it and work through it, and we heal from it, it's no longer in that very part of yourself. You've healed. So when you heal, you actually heal that part. This is the teachings. It's not about going and finding your salvation in your building, because they can't give you your salvation. Only you can. And I'm not here to preach like it's right. like, I'm sharing my experience, what I've experienced, so I can relate to it. And it may make sense to some and may not fully make sense to others. And maybe others, it's just like when you're say your place for you, because you're telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's what the beings, the spirits, and souls I'm happy that have experienced it, that they didn't experience it when they did. And it goes on both sides. That's why it's the part of seeing both sides of each story. Each stories can be fabricated, appear to be fabricated, or be true. And can have a with you not wanting to see the other side or seeing the other side, you just try to suppress it because it's too obvious. That's what I'm explaining is the true spiritual awakening, the truth, seeing the truth of the system, the true systems integrated into society, and people are conformed to told they have to live in, and you're rebellious, you're this, you're a problem. When I went and got my glasses, I walked in and said, you know, problem child back, but it was never a problem child. It was only a problem child because I was speaking truth or speaking truth. Think of it this way, the two timelines. A male some say it didn't happen. Well, depending on what version you look at, what side you look on. Because was the masculine killed on one side and the feminine killed on the other? I'm allowed to ask these questions. Right now I have the vibration. And you would have written my guts out. Wish that I could feel better. Yeah, you already tore me apart. I experienced it in 2020. When I started going through this, I experienced it. Even twisting my head off. Anybody know why you have pain in the crown chakra sometimes? Is it possible that it's the pain of the scalping? Is it possible? Those are the wounds, those are the representation of the crucifixion. You're feeling the crucifixion in many different ways. And it's all in how you see it, on what part or timeline or universe, or which is all the same, just different versions of itself. If you're just coming into my channel and you don't understand my channel, I usually suggest to people that go read my description on my YouTube channel. Spirit to Spirit teaches going with yourself, because my channel is Spirit to Spirit. It's not directed towards you per se as Abbiamo capito di tutto. So maybe going on another journey. Where right now, I don't know. Spirit will guide me. I can feel right in the soul. There's a lot of fear. Fear of learning the truth, knowing the truth. Because it can be. I know that my ancestors less harm to each other. And, and when you realize there's no, like we're all thrown in the mix of it. If you have families that aren't getting along, well, that's because there's something in that line, in that lineage, that part of it. And contact with that. Although for everyone, it's nice to be liked, but not being used just actually that. And that's a lot of why I keep to myself. Because it's the parts of spirit, souls. And we're all people like that are awake and that understand it. We're here to help those who need to. We're here to help those who want to heal, who are ready to heal, who are ready to see. I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean by windows. Can you explain? Looking in, that's what you mean. We're a mirror, looking at us, seeing both sides of the mirror, both sides of ourselves. And we had it once upon a time, and we had the ice queen bellowing into the ice queen's cave and looked in the mirror and seeing the other side of herself. That tells you how to trust certain people. But it's not about not trusting the person, it's about seeing both sides of that person. For all sides, good, bad, and ugly. But Belle, in Beauty and the Beast, Belle seen past the mask, past the facade, past the anger and resentment. Because in that story, Rumpelstiltskin became the Dark One because he wanted to protect his child, his family, and the people from having to go to war. So that's the part of seeing. They said he was a coward because he disabled himself, so he didn't have to go to war because he found out that his wife was pregnant, and he didn't want to leave his child fatherless. But in that part, he didn't know because he chose power over And he ended up going and making a deal with another female, which felt off, that he would get rid of the trolls, I think it was. Ogres. Sorry, ogres. Get rid of the ogres because they were problematic. But he was showing that the other royal family that wanted to marry him, that was going to arrange marriage, were causing harm to the ogres. When you cause harm to someone else, you think that they're going to retaliate. And that's what has been happening. And it's going back to what was the original. Was it that one was chosen for the other, or was it through jealousy? Because we felt like the other one was chosen for the other because, why can't both people, or why can't each side do it? The people and the earth. Because it all comes in. Because it's the connection. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Is that not what you're made with dirt? You're made with the dirt, the atoms, and the spark. You're organic, kind of bang. Surya nuclear Surya. See, signs and symbols are everywhere. And depending on what timeline you're looking at, it could signify different versions of itself, either this side or that. They say about the left, the right. Either you're too far left or you're too far right. Well, where's the balance? ¿Sí que eso de aquí? So I'm going to leave it at that. And if you came in, thank you. I really appreciate and want to take time to actually hear what I have to say. And as you start understanding it, just kind of like, free your mind. It's the part of like, free your mind, open your heart, and see all sides of the stuff, of what truly transpired, because you can find it. You can get clues and guidance or what have you, but it's actually seeing both sides so that you can come to a balance, which is the truth within you, the oneness, the collective, it's the consciousness. That's the Christ, or however you perceive it to be. Quisiera que Dios nos ayude. This was supposed to be missing. I have other books. I have the Bible, and I'm understanding different things, but I'm not so much into the Bible as a lot of people are because I'm not allowing something else to guide me in a direction. I'm allowing it's that part of your soul, your spirit showing you truths. And they send different guides to see the different parts of the truth. Yeah, porque And, somebody that's in the room don't really like what I have to say, but that's okay. It's only because it's hurting that part of me that believes something different because it's how they grew up believing things. And I know that it's different parts of the spirits, souls that did wrong. I know that, parts of my soul, my spirit, because of the fighting back and forth. Whenever they grew up with their son, the part of systems turning us on each other, or even turning us on ourselves. Get it with the story. That being said, God has given us two hands, one to receive and the other to give. We are not stones made for hoarding, but for sharing. I love you all. So I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, most importantly, very good health to anyone and everyone wanting, willing to receive and accept. Much love, be big, bold, brave, most importantly, be yourself, be your authentic self, be true to yourself, be true to others. Be who you are, not who somebody else says you are. You have to be. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and know that you are more powerful and more strength than you can comprehend. Sending you all love. But I stick it to the video. We have